We are live? Yeah. I don't see myself on the screen yet. Is that possible? Or should I have to come on and help me out for just for a moment? I don't know. Come on and help me out because I don't have any screen. Maybe we are live. I see, let me see, I see Paris, I see Mohammed. All right, I see Fahad, all right, Andres. Okay, good, something is happening. Good, yeah, let's see. Do we have any screen? Do we have any communications? Guys, if you hear me, I'll be with you shortly. Just put a high text in the message in the message box. Okay, good. So we have something going. Just need to see, is the camera actually on? Is it on, Pablo? Do you know if the camera is on? It's on, okay. Interesting problem here. So we have sound. Do you guys have sound? Can you hear me? Do you have sound? Just fumbling right now with the video. Hopefully we'll have that soon. Can anybody let me know if you have sound? Something. we in the air now? I see some funny motions there. Do we have sound? Guys, do we have sound? Let me know. Do we have sound? And well, the vision seems to be quite blurry on my screen. Is it going a bit? Is it going with some lag? Because I see myself like very robotic, picture by picture by picture. How is it for you guys? Is it a bit more fluent? Do the images move fluently, or is it with hiccups? It's a bit laggy, yeah? Yeah, I thought so. All right, so the problem is that, okay, audio is okay, yeah? All right. Now, I think this is the best we can do for tonight. At least we have audio. Now, because we're on a platform, right? The platform is called Zoom. There's nothing wrong with that platform. Do you still have image, Pavel? Good, because I lost my image here. So there's nothing wrong with the platform. But as you can imagine, it's always a matter of technical issues, yeah? So, anyway, I'm very happy you're here tonight on Zoom. We're also on YouTube, I understand. And on Zoom, at the moment, we have 13 people. Let's do a very, very quick introduction. My name is Erik. We are broadcasting from Dublin in Ireland at the moment. As you may be able to tell, my accent doesn't sound very Irish. And that's true, I'm not. I'm Dutch. I'm 57 years old. I came to Ireland about 3.5 years ago. I lived in the Caribbean for about 10 years, lived in Mexico, Venezuela, various countries here in Europe. Somehow ended up in Ireland 3.5 years ago. So one of my passions is just to relay information, yeah, get information, valuable information across that can help another person or in some way help each other. Yeah, that is my passion. So tonight is going to be about communication, and I want to tell you something about what you can do, what are the sheer necessities, or I could say the sheer abilities, minimum abilities you need to have in order to be a good communicator. Yeah, I'm going to make that very easy for you. I'm also going to do a quick demonstration of what the mind is and how it's involved. By the end of the evening, I'm going to offer you a book that is going to give you all kinds of life hacks, tools for communication, tools for improving understanding, probably a very vital life hack, which is to know who you can trust. So, if you want to start any conversation, communication, any bonding, any relationship with whomever, you want to be certain that at least you can trust that person. That is going to be in that book. And then on top of that, I'm going to give away a free communication course. And I'm going to show you more about that tonight, what kind of exercises are in there so you can improve your communication abilities. Okay, now, guys, where are you from? Let me know quickly in the chat. Just curious, I guess, as always, we have quite many people from the UK, which is great, obviously. But maybe we have some people from other countries as well. All right, there we go. Latvia, okay. Imadri, coming from Dublin. Maris, from Latvia. Well, I happen to have a colleague by the name of Maris from Latvia. If I find out it's you. All right, good. We got Asen from London. Let me just move my laptop a little bit over. Good. All right, and Maris is going to give me a smile. All right. A bit cheeky there, huh? Cheeky, is this the Maris, my colleague, or is it somebody else? He's not revealing himself, right? So we got Heaven, north of Dublin. Wonderson. Wonderson, I think, is not the first time you're here, are you? North of Dublin, yeah. All right, anybody else? Okay, so this is all cool. Now, we got a lot to cover tonight. Let me see which marker was the best again. The first thing I normally want to do is just clear up this word, communication. Communication. All right, it's my first time. Want to see your first time? All right, so maybe I've seen your name before. Anyway, it's great to have you. Now, I'm going to clear up the word communication, where it comes from. In the meantime, I do have a question for you, which is, what is it that you would like to improve in terms of your communication skills? What is the thing that you would like to improve? Just put something in the chat there, and I might be able to touch upon it and let you know. All right, currently in Germany. Ach so, wirklich gut. Das hast du gut gemacht. You know, I learned a bit of German. It's actually quite amusing. All right, so Mars, you're here for public speaking. Good. So, communication. I hope you're okay. Yeah. Sometimes it may sound like I'm ranting. I'm just going fast. I'm going excited. Maybe you find the whole communication that comes across to you is a bit antagonistic. It's not at all. I'm a bit like this because we lost 10 minutes of time. I apologize for that. Okay, good. Communication. So, communication. Won't be surprised that communication is actually a Latin word. So, there's you can imagine, so many syllables, right? In Latin, it's communicationem. Communicationem. All right. Now, let me just see a little bit here. Boring. London. Moved to Dubai. Wow. Amazing. Fantastic. So what else do we have? Just catching up with you guys. Being warm and welcoming. Good. Casual conversation. Breaking the ice. Public speaking. Right, guys. Sounds fantastic. So, communication. What does that mean? It means to share. It means to share, to impart. Well, the main thing here, the most powerful statement of communication is this. I hope you can read that. The most powerful statement here is to make common. To make common. So when you communicate, you want to make it common. What does that common mean? It means belonging to all. Now, that's very interesting. We're going to cover that more deeply tonight. It means belonging to all. In other words, when you share something, you got an idea here, and I'm sharing that idea with you. It's to make it common. That means it belongs to all of us right now, or belongs to both of us right now. So, see, the image is a bit blurry. Yeah, like I said, I can't make that better, I'm afraid. Now, a quick question. And just put me some yes and no's and these kind of things in the chat. We're going to make it very, very fast. Now, do you experience sometimes feeling tense or nervous in the presence of certain people? Just give me a yes or no, please. Do you sometimes feel tense or nervous in the presence of certain people? Certain people make you feel nervous, make you feel uncomfortable. Yeah? Okay, good. So, we're going to discuss how you can improve this. All right? I'm going to give you a tool for that. Now, next question. Do you sometimes feel unable to look the other person in the eyes? Just feeling uncomfortable, looking the other person in the eyes, making eye contact, and keeping the eye contact. Do you feel you're able to do that, or does it make you feel uncomfortable? Okay, so we got a number of yeses there as well. Yeah, sometimes. All right. Now, Do you sometimes find it difficult to speak clearly? Just getting your communication across. You find it hard to speak clearly, just express yourself, or do you have a tendency to shrink and stumble and those kind of things? Find it hard to get that communication out of you. Also sometimes, yeah? Good. Now, let me show you something to just clear a few things up. Like I said, I see the image is a bit murky, so I'm going to try to make whatever I write down. I hope I can put that a bit more clearly for you on the board. So thank you for your answers. We are definitely in communication. That's what I see right now. Let me see if I can find a better marker. That might actually also help a bit. So I'm going to do a little sketch here. Now let's call it a name. Let's say Joe. Let's see how it is on the screen. All right, fair enough. Joe. We got Joe here, and Joe has an idea. And he wants to get that idea across. He wants to get an idea across to Bill. All right, now, what is going to happen? What is going to happen if Bill does not make 100% copy of what Joe tried to get across to him? So he's not making 100% copy. He's not getting it in full, in other words. So Bill is not making 100% copy of what Joe is trying to get across. Maybe Joe says, you know what? I just got myself a German Shepherd. Obviously, Joe has the intention that Bill is going to get that. That Bill is going to grasp that, understand that. But for some reason, Bill doesn't totally get it. What is going to happen if Bill doesn't make 100% copy? What do you think is going to happen? Just going to sip away on my tea here a little bit. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think Bill doesn't make 100% copy? Do you think there will be understanding between those guys? Do you think there will be understanding? Would it be a yes or a no? Not going to be understanding, yeah? Everybody is in agreement. So you can see here that in order to reach an understanding between you and somebody else, you need to achieve this factor. You need to get that communication across in such a way that we get understanding. Oh, hang on. I'm almost there. Looking at it and saying, what am I doing wrong? I'm going to let you in on something really funny in terms of etymology. Etymology means the root of a word. Where does a word come from? Now, understanding, it doesn't mean you stand under. If I would say, I am under them, you will get the idea, I am amongst them. The old English meaning of under means amongst, among. So you're standing among other people. In other words, when you're standing among other people, you're not separated, right? In other words, that is what understanding is. You are together in this. You're together in this. You're together on the same page. You're together on the same floor, in the same space. You're among others, or each other, you could say. Yeah? Interesting fact, right? That means understanding. Now, of course, we mean also understanding, we mean comprehension. Now, as you can imagine, if you don't get an understanding, if you don't get that 100% copy, you might get something like irritation. You might get something like, well, obviously, some kind of an emotion could happen. And this is all because of misunderstanding, right? Now, we may have learned in school, I learned it back then when I was in school. I'm not sure if that's changed in the meantime, but in school we were told when there is no understanding, this could be because there is some noise. There is some noise and it kind of like messes things up. And it never made any sense to me. It came out of a psychology textbook. It said, well, the reason that people don't understand each other is because there is noise between them. Well, define noise for me, please. Because you have been into bars, you have been into discos, you've been talking one-on-one with another person in the presence of loud sounds, in the presence of a lot of noise, but you still had a conversation going on. You still had understanding going on. So it must be something else than noise if we don't get a full understanding. The first thing here is whatever was communicated was not exactly copied. We call this duplication. It's a very interesting word. Duplication means you make a duplicate. Yeah, you make a duplicate. You could say, sorry, Joe, but I don't think you duplicated me. In other words, you didn't make the copy as I intended to get across. Sorry, but I have not duplicated you. Or, sorry, I don't think you duplicated me correctly. Interesting way to express that, right? Now, I'm going to ask you another question here. Let me wipe out a couple of things just in a moment. But have you ever felt a bit uncomfortable, a bit shaky when you had to start a conversation? So maybe it made you a bit nervous. You had to start a conversation, for example, with the boss, or you had to start a conversation with another colleague, or you had to start perhaps a difficult kind of a conversation with somebody you know. Yeah, you run into that, yeah, sometimes. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you something which is a bit a kick in the butt, to be honest. I'm going to show you something, yeah? So, are you familiar with the word cause? Are you familiar with the word cause? C-A-U-S-E. Are you familiar with the word cause? That means you can cause something. You can make something happen. That means you can bring something forth. You are the point of emanation from where something is starting. You are the originator. Now, this is a bit of a mindfuck, yeah? If you can communicate, the word here is can. If you can communicate, you are cause. That is, if you can communicate. If you cannot communicate, you are not cause. So then what are you? You're basically the effect of something. In other words, something hits you. Something is affecting you in some way. You are not cause. You want to know what that is? Just gonna see how curious you guys are. Do you want to know what that is if you feel you cannot be cause? You want to know what that is? I'm going to tell you. Thank you very much. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what the mind is and what your mind is doing. I'm going to give you a very simple explanation. Imagine you're at a concert. Like a band is playing, and it's a popular band. There's 10,000 people in the room or in the venue. And what do? They're holding up their phones. They are recording the concert. And then they're going to check, and they're going to replay what they just recorded. Your mind is doing this all the time. You are recording everything you experience in your life, and you can replay it. I'm going to check that with you right now. Do you remember this morning how you got out of your bed? Just give me a yes or no. Do you remember how you got out of your bed this morning? Maybe what was the first thing you did? Right, you got that. Now, most of you most likely did something with your eyes. It went up into some corner like, let me have a quick look. What did you do? You looked at a recording. So what you just did is you replayed part of your recording. Makes sense, yeah? It's very simple. Anybody can understand this. Your mind is a recording machine. It's a recording mechanism. It's a mental recording mechanism, not like a physical recording mechanism, but it has the same functions. Now, there is a bug, an error, a defect in that system. Do you want to know what it is? What is the defect in our mind? You want to know what that is? Give me a yes or no. Maybe you don't want to know. You do want to know, right? All right, good. So, here we go. Now, by consideration, by thoughts, by thinking, we can consider that we have good recordings. In other words, good and nice experiences, and we have bad recordings, bad experiences. Good experiences, bad experiences. Good recordings, bad recordings. What happens if you think back of a bad recording? In other words, what happens if you think back of a bad experience? Is your mood going to change? What do you think is going to happen? Is your mood going to change? Yes or no? Think back of a bad experience and your mood is going to change, correct? Now, is your mood going to change for the better or for the worse? Is your mood going to change for the better or for the worse? It's going to be worse, yeah? So, you think back of a moment, let's say a moment of failure. You failed to communicate. You failed in some action. Or a moment that you got bullied. Or a moment of a loss. Whatever you consider is a bad experience. Your mood is going to drop. As a result, when your mood changes, do your actions also change? Are your actions going to change as a result of a mood change? Is that a yes or a no? And indeed, it's a yes. So, when your actions change, your success in life changes as well. At least that very moment. Let's put that into a little sketch so you have an idea what this is. So we got Joe here. Joe has a mind. Now, let's say this is one long film. These are all pictures. Bill happens to be the boss. Joe is the employee. In the past, Joe had a failure there. Whatever failure, he had a failure there with another boss. Maybe he asked the other boss for a leave of absence. The guy wasn't exactly very pleasant in answering him. And he didn't get what he wanted. Now, Joe is now in front of his new boss, and he is considering asking him a leave of absence. Do you think Joe's mind, Joe's past experience, could cause some trouble here in asking his new boss that question? Hope you're going to get what I'm trying to get across to you. Yeah? You got it, right? So we got, hey, Ina, you just joined in? That's amazing. Right. Lovely to see you there. In other words, that past experience that he had with the boss, some kind of a failure, is not going to play parts in the new situation where he's actually trying to ask Bill, his new boss, a question. Now, for that reason, Joe is not cause. He feels something is stopping him to do something. Something is stopping him to go into action. Right? He is not cause because he is receiving something from his mind. In other words, he is not flowing a communication out. He is receiving communication from his mind, telling him, I'm going to fail if I ask him. I cannot do this. He's probably not going to allow me to take a leave. Does that sound familiar? Can you relate to that kind of a situation? Can you relate to that kind of a situation where your mind tells you, oh, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I can do this. I don't have the experience. All right, so now in other webinars, we will explain how you can be the boss over your mind. Tonight, I just want to show you what you can do in order to improve your abilities to keep these thoughts at bay. You don't want to have them surrounding you. You just want to keep those thoughts away from you. So what is the key thing here? Joe, he is not in present time. He is in the past when he does this. He's looking into the past and he's not here in present time. So the very first requirement in order to communicate at all, is that you need to be here in the present. Just be here in present time. Wow. Well, now I can tell you that is an ability. Number one requirement is be here. Be here in present time. Now, what else does that mean? That means you are simply able to be in the same space with the other person. Simply able to do just that. No flinching, no nervousness, no agitation, no itchiness. Just be here, not having any thoughts. Just be there. This online course that I'm going to give away tonight will tell you how to achieve this. And so it's magnificent stuff. It says there, communication. Oh, I hope you can actually see that. So it says communication training drills, and there's a specific drill in there that you can practice, and you become more and more and more stable in just being there without going into your thoughts. That is an introversion. Introversion means looking inside. You don't want that because you want to look outside. Doesn't make any sense, guys. The first requirement is simply to be there. I'm not saying you have to be able to look at the person. I'm not saying you have to be able to talk to the person. I'm just saying the first requirement is the ability to be in the same space in front of another person. You got this feeling like, oh my God, I cannot even enter the executive director's office, then you already know that first requirement in order to be there is kind of tough. Now, the beauty is you don't have to practice that drill with the executive director. You can actually practice that drill with anybody and gain the skill to just comfortably be around people and be in another person's presence. Now, when we have that, we have the next skill that we need. So the first one is we keep these negative thoughts at bay. We do this by doing a certain exercise. So we manage that. We keep that negativity away from us. The next skill we really need is to be able to look at somebody. Okay, now, let me ask you, have you ever done this staring contest where you look somebody in the eye, and then you see, okay, so how long can I keep this up? Without smirking, without smiling, without giggling, without getting uncomfortable, just looking at another person. Maybe you've seen other people do this. And then you can see that after maybe 20 seconds or whatever, they started feeling very, very uncomfortable. Any of you guys, any experience? Have you ever done this? Have you ever done this experience? Or have you ever had this experience? Have you ever done this funny drill exercise? Let me know. Maurice, haven't tried it? Well, Maurice, it's a life changer. I can tell you, it's a life changer. And I'm going to tell you and explain to you why that is. Now, let me ask you a question. How do you feel if you're talking to a person, but the person can't look you into the eyes? You're talking to this person, and the person is like, how does that make you feel? Can you put that in the chat for me? How does that make you feel? The person can't look you into the eyes. How does that make you feel? Well, it doesn't feel great, right? Anybody else? Not good. Right away, you know that person just couldn't be there together with you. This person is too afraid to look you into the eyes, to be frank. He is too afraid to look at you. That's why he's looking away from you. Now, if people are angry with you, if they're angry at you, they'll look away from you on purpose. It's like they're signaling you they don't even want to talk to you. If they're a bit in the upper band of being angry, they'll look at you, but it's not going to be very comfortable. It's not going to be very pleasant. It's going to be very penetrating kind of look. That's when they're angry. You also don't want that, but you simply want a pleasant kind of communication with the eyes between two people. Now, I'm going to explain to you why that is. Let's imagine you are in the middle of a square. You're in the middle of a square and you're just looking up into the sky. And there's some people passing by. They're just passing by, but you just keep on looking up into the sky. What are the people going to do who look at you while they are passing by? Where are they going to look? Right, they're going to look up. Now, here's something very, very interesting. Let me wipe something out. And you have probably seen this. If I'm looking in the camera, then we have an eye contact. But let's say I'm going to look at my watch. I'm pretty certain that you who are following this webinar is going to look at what am I doing with my watch. In other words, attention follows attention. So, Joe is looking up. You can guarantee that Bill is going to follow suit and is going to look up as well. And you can right away see this is a detrimental factor in understanding. Now, you might excuse the fact that Let's say you and I have a conversation, and just incidentally, I look at my watch. All right? You could have that. We talk for another minute, and I pick up my phone. Maybe you can have that too. And 1 minute later, I'm going to grab my pen, and I'm just going to look at it and click at it. And every time, you could sense that my attention was not there for you. I had my attention on my watch. I had my attention on my phone. I had my attention on my ballpoint. Anywhere but you. It triggers annoyance, irritation. Why? Because you know that fellow here, he is not there. He is not there with you. He is somewhere else. That makes sense? That makes sense, guys? All right, so now, all right, so what does that mean? You need the second requirement. You need to have that requirement to simply look at a person. So number one, you want to be there without strain, without nervousness, just perfectly calm, as if you are among your best friends. You want to have that kind of a behavior or mindset or skill, ability at all times. Doesn't matter if you talk to the freaking president or the CEO or a recruiter, you just want to be as calm as you can be. Totally relaxed in that environment, no matter who the person is. Just the ability to be there. Like I said, you have a drill in there that will help you to achieve that. Now, the next one is a little bit harder because this means you will need to have the ability to look a person in the eye. What does that mean? Well, we are sentient beings. We are human beings. So by looking, I'm not looking. I'm actually giving you attention. Take it from another angle. This is attention. So people are very happy to receive your attention. If you don't get the attention that you're looking for, you don't get the attention from another person that you're looking for, you won't be very happy with that. So it is vital to be able to put the attention out there, not the attention in there, no, out there. All right, so very similar to the first drill, where you practice being there, there's another drill which goes quite the same. You're sitting in front of another person with your eyes open and you're looking at the other person. Now, while you do that exercise, you get this funny phenomenon. My own example. I explain it a bit in terms of a bottle with gas. So let's say we got some mineral water here with gas, right? So when you open the lid, the gas will flow out. When you start doing the exercises, what turns on is an impulse that you want to smirk, giggle, start feeling uncomfortable, don't know what to do. It's the gas going out of the bottle. It's the symptoms coming up in your system, but as you will continue, these symptoms will leave your system, just like the gas will leave the bottle. When the gas leaves the bottle and is gone, the water is calm, and so will you be. Okay? Now, who would like to be able just to be there in front of anybody, calm, at ease, confident, and also be able to comfortably look that person in the eyes for an undetermined amount of time. Who would like to have these two skills? Are you giving me a yes, Ina? Me. All right. Okay, good. Well, great. I can tell you it's all there. You can totally have it. You can totally get that skill. So, the first one, being there. So I'm going to put that here. Just be. It's like being yourself, number one. Number two, look. Now, have you ever seen, a mother with a toddler going like, oh, Johnny, don't, no, don't do that. Mommy told you not to do that. Oh, Johnny, no, can you please, Johnny, hello, Johnny, Johnny, Mommy is talking to you. No, oh. Ever seen something like this? Bit of a funny situation where the mom could not control the toddler. Or the mom got very, very upset with the toddler. Or just no control there, no positive control. The toddler would just do whatever he wished to do. Have you ever seen a situation like this? Okay, yeah, well, it tells you the mom was not in control, right? It's clear. The mom was not in control. Why is that? Why is that? Well, first of all, the eye contact was not really established, was it? If you would observe the scene, the toddler would not for a moment turn around and put his attention to mommy. There was no eye contact, right? Now, mommy was getting a bit annoyed. She was looking into her mind and just getting all the kind of crap got reactivated in her mind, and her communication wasn't really pleasant. It didn't come across. There was something that was really missing. What was really missing is the pure intention, which is to put in the other person what you want. To get across with the other person what you want. Remember, when you're a cause, first of all, you can communicate. You can. Now, let's say you go to your boss and you want to ask for a couple of days off, but you feel you can't really ask that. I think instead of asking for 2 weeks, I'm just going to ask him for 1 week. So I start to feel very, very uncomfortable with the idea of 2 weeks. Well, you've already lost there. At least you got something done, but you didn't get really what you want. So, in other words, there's another requirement that needs to get in order to get across what emanates from here to get that whole thing duplicated over there. And that is one word. It's intention. So, intention. Intention means, what do I want? What do you want to get across? So, mommy with a toddler, she didn't get her intention across to the toddler. She failed to get his attention, and then she failed to get the idea that she had in mind across to the little boy. Let me give you another example. Let's say there's a robbery going on here in front of me. There's a robbery, and I'm a police officer. I'm a little bit scared of robbers. So I open the door of the store and go, uh-oh, robbery. So I just draw my gun. a bit hesitant. Said, sir, you need to stop this. You need to stop this. Well, I'm afraid it's not going to impress the guy. Because he feels your intention is not really there. Is not strong enough. He doesn't feel that that is actually what you want. He can tell right away that you're not really there. Being there is absent. So, he needs to have that idea, hey, there's another dude in the house. He's in the same space as I am. And I definitely get what he wants. Stop! That would be a proper intention. So, now, it doesn't mean that intention means yelling. It doesn't mean that intention means screaming to get it across. It doesn't mean that. It could even be something that you whisper. Johnny. Johnny. Johnny turns around. Johnny, come here. Can be handled quite simply. Right? So there we have it. Now, okay, going back to the beginning, this psychology term, noise. Bill doesn't get Joe's idea because there was noise. Bullshit. That is just bullshit. You can see right now, Joe wasn't there to start with. Joe paid no real attention to Bill because he looked somewhere else. Bill didn't get his attention across. Likewise, maybe Bill wasn't really there. Right? Maybe Bill was uncomfortable. Maybe Bill was distracted looking around. Now here's the kicker. Here's the beauty. If you up your communication skills, you are going to bring calm in your space. You're going to make it easier for the other people to be in your space. They're going to be quite happy when you are calm and you radiate calmness. It makes them calm too. But when you get these requirements in, 1, be there, 2, be able to look, 3, get your attention across, and you do that in a very, very comfortable manner, you're going to find out that it's going to be very easy to because, my marker, to because get your idea across now we have a 100% copy there. Does that make any sense? Are we clear so far? Yeah. All right, good. Is the image still very murky, or were you able to follow this a little bit so far? Just gonna text my colleague for a moment because I need him quickly. He left without saying goodbye. So you can imagine my colleague is leaving me without saying goodbye. That is going to be a fight tonight. It's not going to be pleasant looking, pleasant intention. It's going to be, where the fuck have you been? Actually, he just made it up with me. He's just walking in. So you can imagine it's all good now. Okay, good. Now, so we did this whole thing from one side. You were able to be there. You were able to communicate. It made you cause. It kept your mind at a distance. like I said, in future webinars, we're going to cover the mind more in depth. If you have a question tonight for me, like, hey, Erik, Dan, I can't wait, I need to know more, I'm going to give you my WhatsApp number, and I'm going to tell you where the information is coming from, okay? And my colleague Pavel is going to put the number in the chat for you. But you can imagine, it starts with you. Obviously, once you get that communication across, the roles change, and now Bill is going to be cause and answer. In other words, you are going to be receiving. And there's some amazing, amazing stuff that you can learn. Baba, would you be willing to do a drill with me? Or no problem. Okay, just hang on for a second. Just hang on for a second. So my colleague is going to come up for a moment. I'm going to show you something really funny. So let's imagine this. Yeah, because there's much more to know about communication. Let's imagine this. I am going to ask you a question. We're in a conversation. I'm going to ask you a question like, what is your name? And you're going to tell me, my name is Andre. So, question, answer. Is the communication complete? Let me know in the chat. Does that complete a communication? Yes or no? So I'm asking a question, I'm getting an answer. Does that complete a communication? Is it finished at that point? Or is there something missing? So Wendelson says, it isn't finished. Okay. Wendelson, do you have any idea what's missing? Ina says, no, it's not finished. All right. All right. Now, what is missing is I would ask you and you would answer me. Question, answer. What is missing? Connection. All right. So, I'm going to show you that very, very briefly with my friend here, Pavel, who's helping me tonight. So, coming over, Pavel, and we're just going to demonstrate that on the screen. Good. All right. Here's Pavel. Both saying hi. All right, good. So, here he goes. So, I'm going to ask him a question, and he's going to give me an answer. Just that. What's your name?
My name is Pavel.
That wasn't very satisfying, was it? He could feel, hey, something is missing here. Let's try it again. What's your name?
My name is Pavel.
Okay. Was that better? Thank you very much. Was this better? So, question, answer, acknowledgement. Was that better? Did that put the connection there? So which example was better, the first one or the second one? Let me know in the chat which one was better, the first one or the second one. Now we're going to end up in a few moments, yeah? I'm just curious what you think. Was the first one a good example? Hey, what's your name? Pavel. Or the second one? Hey, what's your name? Pavel. All right. The second one was a lot better, huh? Now, do you know that most people on planet Earth violate this? You are sending them an email. You're getting an email in response, but you don't acknowledge the person, say, hey, thank you for your email. Or you are sending an email and the other person never answers you back, and you wonder, did you get my communication? It's like, hey, what's your name? Pavel. And he's like, get no answer from him. Is he deaf? Did he hear me? Did he actually receive my name? You realize this? Like, you send any WhatsApp message, email, right? You're, hey, we have a party tonight. You want to come? You never get an answer. So the whole planet is out of communication. Quite amazing, isn't it? So, I'm going to end off here. I think you have enough substance for tonight. So, I'm going to read you a quote from that course, yeah? A man is as dead as he can't communicate. He's as alive as he can communicate. So, what I think was really a brilliant idea for tonight was to offer you a book with life hacks on communication and life itself, combined with a communication course that has simple exercises that you can do at home with a family member, with a friend, with an associate, whatever you want. You can introduce this at work. Say, hey, let's do this as a group. We're going to be better communicators. And we're going to be having an easier time communicating to one another. Now, I'm going to reveal to you what is in this book, okay? Because Pavel's going to put the link there right now. But here is what you're going to find in this book. So it's also a bit related to your mind. Now, would you like to know why a person becomes unhappy and how you can remedy that? You're going to find out. It's in the book. What are a few of the true potentials that you have, which you have kind of forgotten about, and how do you revive them? Would you like to know? The answer is in the book. So, more to that, how can you restore your full potential? Page 75. Now, when we go into relationships, there's a nice life hack in there. How do you raise understanding between you and somebody else? There's a bit more to this than I just uttered in this whole talk about the communication approach formula. Now, how can you increase your certainty? Find out on page 91. What is at the root of marital success? That's on page 149. What are the 12 characteristics of the narcissist, the antisocial personality? How do you recognize the people that you can trust? How do you recognize the people that you should not trust? How do you recognize them? And also, how do you deal with them? The answer is in the book. Now, what is the root of conflicts and how do you remedy that? So, I've just given you a few, but it's full of life hacks. It's a big tool. So, see that Ina will collect it on Saturday. I guess you can't wait. So, guys, for your information, I'm going to see Ina on Saturday. Lovely to have you here, Ina. Brilliant. Anybody else who wants to come to Dublin? We're in Dublin 24. We are a life hack or life improvement center. We got a lot of that stuff, and it's all just marvelous, fantastic stuff. Now, I'm not sure how this promotion got across because we did things a little bit last moment. We're up through our eyeballs at the moment. We have a lot of projects, a lot of things going on. We're quite buzzing here. And we're having a lot of fun, so maybe you miss that link for the free communication course. But the book is going to be 17 euros, probably 15, 16 pounds for those of you in the UK. It's going to come with free shipping throughout all of Europe, and the book comes in 50 languages. You actually get it from Arabic to the South African language Zulu. You can have it in Portuguese, you can have it in Brazilian Portuguese, you can have it in German, you can have it in Italian, you can have it in Castilian Spanish, Mexican Spanish, and so on. So click on the link if you want to know more, and I'll be happy to toss in the online gift for you so you can start doing your communication exercises and up your confidence, up your communication skills, and be a better communicator. Any questions, guys, before we end up? I'm very happy with your patience. See that the 8 people who started tonight are still here, at least most of them. Hopefully you guys were also able to see this on YouTube tonight, and hopefully the quality was not too bad. Any questions before we end off, guys? I do want to thank you for being here. It's been a nice group of people. You were very chatty and in communication, so that was fantastic. Very happy with that. Let me know, by all means, drop me a message on my WhatsApp if you want to know more. I'm always happy to help. All right, guys. So then I guess we're coming to an end. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wenderson, and everybody else here tonight. We're gonna end off a little bit later than normal. Hope to see you again next week. By now, we almost have 5,000 members in this meetup group. It's time we're gonna take this to the next level. We're working on that. We're gonna let you know soon enough when the next surprise is there for you. For tonight, I wish you a great rest of the evening, and hope to see you again next time. Do well.